What's up, YouTube? I'm Brett from Rants. As always, guys, if y'all enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. We're on the road to 1,000. We hope you guys can help us get there. Alright, so, MCU fans petition Marvel to resurrect Tony Stark with Los Angeles billboard. Goes on to state, fans of Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal of Tony Stark in the Marvel Cinematic Universe have now taken extreme measures to convince Marvel Studios to return Iron Man to the series of films by placing a billboard in Los Angeles addressed to the superhero movie studio. The billboard was shared to Twitter by Barstool's movie podcast, Lights Camera Barstool. The pitch began with salutation for our beloved hero, please, followed by big text in the Marvel Studios logo font, and then Iron Man logo font respectively, bring back Tony Stark. The end of the advertisement read out the grammatically incorrect hashtag bring back Tony Stark to life, as well as the date April 24th, 2021. And then, of course, it shows the billboard. It says, since the death of Tony Stark at the end of Avengers Endgame, fans have been petitioning to bring Iron Man back to life in the MCU. While there has been no reason to suspect that Marvel Studios plans to resurrect Tony Stark, his sacrifice has and will continue to affect the MCU going forward. Much of the most recent MCU film, Spider-Man Far From Home, terrible movie, showed Peter Parker dealing with Tony's loss, and actor Don Cheadle recently confirmed that his upcoming Disney Plus series Armor Wars, not interested in seeing, will likely have his character James Rhodes' War Machine tackling the same issue. The death of Tony Stark, I'm pretty sure, will play a role in the series, Cheadle said, where we've been sort of progressing. Rhodey, I imagine there's going to be another elevation and another way that we're going to keep digging into that part of Rhodey. Says while fans continue to petition, Downey has doubled down on the fact that he does not intend to return to the role. I've done all I could with that character, Downey said in an interview. Now, being middle-aged, you start looking at the back nine and realize that this is all part of the journey and things end. I am fortunate and eternally grateful to have wound up where I have. It has been long rumored that Downey will appear as Tony Stark in the upcoming MCU film Black Widow, which is set before the events of Avengers Endgame. However, many suspect that if Tony does appear, it will be in archival footage from Captain America Civil War. So, my initial reaction to this is, you know what? It's like all heroes, or all series, or all movie franchises. Fans of those franchises hate for it to end. But it's kind of like what Robert Downey Jr. said about Tony Stark. He's done all he could with that character. Like, he has literally saved the day, gave his life in the movies to save the universe from Thanos, and we're somehow going to bring him back? For what reason? What could he go out as in a better light than what he already did? I mean, are we really going to make Tony Stark Michael Jordan? You know, where Michael Jordan hits the game-winning shot in the NBA Finals, only to return a few years later as really half good of what he used to be, or not half as good as what he used to be. I mean, where he plays for a 500 team and doesn't even look like himself anymore. I mean, is that really what we want to do for Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark? I would say no. I would say definitely no. You know, I was sad to see him go. I will never look at anybody playing that role ever again the same. I will always compare them to Robert Downey Jr. I don't think you could have had a better actor to play that role. I mean, he was Tony Stark. I mean, without a doubt. And he played that role better than anybody could. Um, so, you know what? 20 years from now or 10 years from now, when they reboot everything, um, we're going to see a different Tony Stark then. And that's going to be a really sad day for me because I really feel like that. I really feel like no one can match what Robert Downey Jr. did for that character. But if Robert Downey, and it also kind of goes to the point, if Robert Downey Jr. doesn't want to come back to that part, if he feels like he's done everything he can for that character, or with that character, then, fans, come on. What? Why would you want him back at that point? He's telling you he's gave it his all. And he's giving good advice. He's like, all good things must end. I mean, even the best movies and the best series will end. Even the most iconic shows will end. That's just life. That's just life in general. Um, and as far as movie deaths or series death or comic deaths, you don't want to go down the road of Dragon Ball Z. You don't want to go down the road of the modern comic where deaths mean nothing. Deaths are there for minimal shock value, but it doesn't have that same tear-wrenching moment anymore because you know that your favorite characters are going to be back next issue or in a comic issue later on down the road. You know it. So Batman, Superman, Iron Man, whoever, Captain America can die, and they're just going to be back because that's how these comics make money. Is they get the initial shock value from fans who are like, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe he died," but I know he'll be back. It's one of those things like, do we really want to go down that road, MCU? Probably not. I mean, I think Marvel would be absolutely stupid to bring him back. But it wouldn't shock me at the same time. It would not shock me if they brought back Robert Downey Jr. in some form or fashion, simply for fan service. Maybe in a cameo. I don't think we'll ever see him in a full movie again. Like, I don't think he's ever going to reprise his role as Iron Man in a full movie, but I could see him maybe do a cameo here and there, which I'm not really that in favor of either. I kind of feel like, the character is gone. Let him just be. But that being said, I don't really feel like Marvel at this stage really feels like they're at their strongest position. Say what you want to about the series or the upcoming movie slate. It's really a weak version. It really is. I thought WandaVision did better than what anybody could ever have imagined, but it couldn't finish the job. And then, of course, you had the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. A lot of people are fans of that. I personally think it's garbage in a lot of ways. I don't really enjoy it. I feel like it doesn't stay true to what Marvel has tried to concoct over the last decade. It's just not good television. Now you know what, Loki might be a really interesting show, and I have hope for that. But I'm not excited to see Black Widow or Captain Marvel 2 or even, Black Panther 2. Like, why would I want to see Black Panther 2 at this point? Like, I mean, there's nothing exciting that's going to be happening in the next few years with Marvel. And I think Marvel, that's where I think you're going to see Marvel maybe getting desperate. and bringing him back at least in a cameo, maybe even begging him to try to do another movie for them. Um, I just don't personally see the latter happening. Um, but at this point, nothing would surprise me. You offer enough money to these people and they'll come back. I mean, why would you not come back? I mean, even if you're just sick and tired of the character, if they offer you $100 million to come back, of course you're gonna come back for it. You'd be stupid not to. So Robert Downey Jr. wouldn't blame you if you came back. Wish you would stay dead in the I wish your version of Tony Stark would stay dead. But you know, wouldn't shock me if he comes back. But guys, let me know what y'all think. Let me know if y'all would be excited if Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark came back to life. Would it lessen his sacrifice in Endgame? Would it be worth it? Would it really be worth it? Or are fans getting uh, more than what they're asking for by asking his return? Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Y'all take care.